I've been a canine handler for almost 9 years. My partner is a 4-year-old German Shepherd named Rex. He's trained in tracking and narcotics detection, and he's solid. He doesn't spook easily. I've taken him into warehouses, abandoned houses, woods at night, and he's always steady. That's why what happened that night stuck with me. We were called in to assist patrol on a house search after a foot pursuit in the area. Officers had attempted to stop a male suspect a few blocks away, and he ran. They chased him through backyards and lost sight of him near this property. A side gate to the yard was found open, and the back door of the house was unlocked. Neighbors had also reported hearing a struggle in the backyard, which added to the urgency. Patrols swept the first floor but weren't comfortable calling it safe. They believed the suspect may have forced his way inside and could still be hiding somewhere in the house. Rex and I arrived about 20 minutes later. The house was a 2-story place in a quiet subdivision. There were no signs of forced entry from the front. The officers on the scene briefed me quickly. Long story short, they told me there were no obvious signs of struggle, just the open access at the rear of the house and the fact that the suspect had vanished within yards of it. I put Rex on a short leash and gave him the search command. He pulled forward immediately, moving from room to room on the first floor. The living room was clear, kitchen was clear, and laundry room was clear, so we moved upstairs. Up there was a narrow hallway with 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. There was no fresh air up there and no draft. All the windows seemed to be closed, as to be expected, as the neighbor reported that the owners of this house were not in town. Rex and I went into the first bedroom, then the second bedroom. Then he pulled toward the bathroom at the end of the hall. I examined the little bathroom, and overall it seemed clean. Nothing was out of place in any of the rooms. Rex sniffed around the room, the edge of the vanity, the floor. Then he froze. His ears went forward and his body stiffened up. He started growling, looking outside the bathroom door. His growls then turned to barks. He was staring out into the hallway, growling and barking at something out there. I stepped backwards out of the bathroom with him. "What is it?" I said quietly. Rex was locked on to something down the hallway. At the very end, near the last bedroom door, I saw what he was barking at. This figure standing there. This tall, dark, completely still figure. And it didn't look like any of the officers downstairs. They also would have in some way announced their presence to me. I identified myself as police and that there was a canine with me, but there was no response to this. Then I just flat out asked, "Who is that?" Still no response. Rex was pulling in the opposite direction, something I'd never seen him do before. He didn't want to go down that hallway. Then the figure turned and walked into the bedroom at the end of the hall. I knew every officer on scene. I knew where they were positioned. None of them were upstairs with me. Rex planted his feet when I tried to move forward. He pulled backwards hard. He did not want to go down that hallway. I drew my weapon and said over the radio that I have possibly located the suspect at the end bedroom. Start making your way up. I pulled Rex forward, and he resisted the entire way. He kept looking at me like he didn't understand why I was making him go. When we reached the bathroom doorway, he refused to cross with me. I stepped into the room first with my gun raised, but it was empty, like completely empty. Just a bed against the wall and a dresser across from it. I waited for the others to get up there before fully entering the room, and when we finally entered, there was no one standing in there or hiding under the bed. The window was closed, and even the closet was empty. There was no kind of attic hatch or crawl space door. Rex stayed in the hallway. He wouldn't step foot into the room. I expected the others to doubt me, but they saw Rex and the way he was acting. One of them tried coaxing him into the room. He refused. We searched every inch of that bedroom. We checked the walls for false panels. We checked the bathroom again. We checked the other bedroom. There was not a single trap door anywhere. If it weren't for Rex, I feel like I'd have gone crazy. After about 20 minutes, I told the others I had to take Rex out of there. But before we left, he kept glancing back down the hall at that bedroom. As soon as we stepped outside into the night air, he relaxed slightly. When he was in his crate, he curled up immediately, but he didn't look at me the way he usually does after a search.
Patrol wrapped up not long after. I've replayed that moment 1,000 times in my head. I believe it was a real person, the suspect even, but I don't know how they escaped that room or why Rex behaved that way. Maybe more suspicious people than me will say what Rex and I saw was a ghost. Rex has never reacted like that before or since. He's tracked armed suspects without hesitation and entered a lot more stressful environments than that house. But that room, he wouldn't step inside. I trust that dog more than I trust my own instincts. Just about everyone in my department has at least one unexplainable night call, and this one was mine.